The pitchers, the free agent pitchers, brought to you by True Classic. True Classic designed tees to make all the fellas out there feel confident in their clothing. They make pitchers feel like athletes. From gym rats to dad bods. With True Classic shirts, you'll get lots of nods. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. A desirable look that can be achieved with every body type, even yours and mine. True Classic offers other menswear as well, ranging from polos to workout shirts to boxer briefs. And for listeners who are well endowed, they have long options for the tall guys up to XXXL. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with code BASEBALL. That's 25% off with code BASEBALL plus free shipping included on purchases over $100. Once you put True Classic on your back, that'll be your new favorite shirt stack. True Classic, code BASEBALL. Trev, there's a big pitcher. There's a big pitcher on the list. And if Verlander opts out, there's another big pitcher who's going to have another Cy Young soon on the list of free agents. And then Kershaw, see, it's another, it's a different level of.
I think Rodon's the other, big entering free agency at the right time to get paid.
Yeah, but he's not name-wise.
Right.
DeGrom, Verlander, Kershaw are fucking names.
Can I preface this segment real quick? I want to acknowledge a couple guys, and I think this starting pitchers group should also acknowledge these dudes. Adam Wainwright and Justin Verlander, pitching how they pitched at their age, has opened the door for all these motherfuckers to get real deals with length into their upper 30s and possibly even into their 40s because of what these guys have been able to do. They've shown that it can be done with, whatever training that we have, we're getting better in that regard. Guys are aging better. And then you have the example of it being set. Like Justin Verlander's going to win the fucking Cy Young at what, 40?
Yep.
So these guys, like a DeGrom, for instance, 34 health issues. I understand that. Before, we're not so sure what would happen. But now they can dream upon him pitching 6 more years at an elite rate. Kershaw, the same thing, 35 years old. Before we might say, okay, yeah, let's go year to year like he's been doing. But I think that's on his preference. I think that if he wanted to, he could command a deal of 3 to 4 years at this age. I don't think he wants that, but he could because of Verlander and Wainwright. So I just want to give a shout out to those guys.
We are going to see some dudes get paid.
Yes.
I'm going to reverse engineer this a little bit because your boy Led Zeppelin turned down a $15 million option, which he's 29 and, the money may end up around there a little less, but he'll get more years. That's kind of the whole point of free agency. But you're working up from here, and this was a year of pitching that, man, on your way to the DeGroms, Verlanders, and Rodons and Clayton, who, Verlander and Kershaw, they get to dictate whatever the hell they want. DeGrom's going to get a bigger AAV than I think we've ever seen because when he's at his best, it's the best we've ever seen a starting pitcher. From Bassett to Eovaldi, he's been the Red Sox one for a while now, and when you pitch at Fenway, man, that's brutal. You add 2 runs, like a game. Down to Michael Wacha dropped it this year, Quintana, Martin Perez. How often did we talk about him this year that, a guy that threw 200 innings with a 2.89 ERA, that's someone you got to pay. So, the starting pitching, I guess I'm a little surprised jumping into it. I thought it was going to be DeGrom, Verlander, Rodon, but there's a lot of dudes are going to get zeros in their paychecks, and good for them. And like you said, a little homage to some of the pitchers that have done it the past couple years, because normally we would have said Jacob DeGrom, 34, maybe a test or 2 year. Now, you're talking 3-4 years at maybe the highest AAV we've seen.
He declined 30.
I called last year. I said this guy's gonna say $50 million just because he had the leverage. Now this year he only started 11 games.
Yeah, how much does this year hurt him? Rodon.
So I was thinking about that. When he pitched James, 11 games, 308. His whip was 0.74. I mean, like, so he's still showing dominant stuff. And I know there's like a little bit of hesitation. 11 games started, not great, not where you want to be in a walk year, but the track record's there, and the fact that you sign Scherzer to that deal, you in your mind, like I said, Stevie wants a 1-2 like that. I think he just has leverage with the Mets like crazy right now.
I'm interested to see if it's just high AAV and shorter years. Get him for 4 years for 35 a year or something like that. Where Rodon's 29 or 30 years old, he led the league in FIP. He had signed a deal last year because they were concerned about his shoulder. His velo stayed the same. His results got better, I believe. The San Francisco Giants had some of the worst infield defense, and he still pitched great as a ground ball pitcher there. He's going to get $100 million. I don't know how it gets spread out over how long, but he's going to get a big deal.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to push over that quite significantly too. So Kershaw's another one of the guys that we're looking at, and like you said, Jake, he can kind of do whatever he wants. He's from the Dallas area. There's been a lot of rumor that maybe he takes that job with the Rangers, and maybe that if he does that, he might stick around a little bit longer. Settle in back home and do that whole thing, because that is important to these guys. When you get to this age, when you have kids like that, they become a factor, which teams have to think about. Like before, if you get a guy and he doesn't have, young children that, need to be in school, like that opens the world up to the guys. But when you have kids, like they become your number one priority almost. And so teams have to think about that. Kershaw, I think if he comes back to LA, probably another 1-year deal. If he goes to the Rangers, I could see him sticking around for a little bit longer.
Man, the Dodger guys throw this off for me. I mean, Heaney was really good when he was pitching. Tyler Anderson had an incredible year. Like, think about what we would normally say about a guy entering free agency who threw 178 innings to a 2.57 ERA.
You think any teams are out there are like, oh shit, like we can't like help you in the way the Dodgers helped you, so just never mind.
Can you tell us what they told you?
Well, we swear we'll sign you. Just tell me what they told you.
Yeah. You help us.
We do have another guy posting from Japan. Now I'm gonna mess this name up.
Come on.
Kudai Senga.
Sure.
Right-handed pitcher. He's 30 years old. They say it's not guaranteed that he'll sign with an MLB team. He's expected to weigh offers from them this winter.
Tanaka's
career
also
259, 111 whip, and he throws cheese. He's been clocked at 102 miles an hour, so I like that. Yankees?
If that's straight, that's hittable.
Yankees?
Who had the lowest ERA out of Verlander, Kershaw, Rodon, DeGrom last year?
What's that?
Verlander, right?
Verlander, 1.75. Who had the second lowest ERA? Kershaw, Rodon, DeGrom.
Kershaw.
2.28.
The joke. Kershaw gets no respect.
He kind of doesn't, man.
He doesn't. It's because he wears Skechers.
Skechers.
Yeah.
2.28. 22 starts.
I don't think I ever faced him, man. Like I need to know what's up. Like with that curveball, like is that a little hitch in his windup fuck with you? Like
yes.
Dang, man.
Dang. So what do you think? Do you think is any news on Verlander yet?
I mean,
Jim Crane after the World Series said that's his first call is going to be to Verlander to work something out. Like there's an option there. I believe he has a player option.
Yeah. He should opt out.
And then Crane wants to sign him back.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, no shit.
Figure at least get another year tacked on.
Get him while he's drunk, Crane.
Free agency better when you're coming off Tommy John at 39 or coming off the Cy Young. He's going to opt out.
This class of starting pitchers that we're talking about right now, it doesn't matter if your rotation is full right now. Like if you're a team or a GM and you're like, well, we got, 4 starters and prospects. You're like, well, you make room. You just sign these guys because they're not going to be available for the next 3 years, and your opponent and your competitors are going to grab them. Rodon's awesome. Remember when he got non-tendered? Then re-signed with the White... Was that what it is? Then re-signed with the White Sox?
Yes.
Great.
I hope there's real leverage here. I hope that this offseason plays out the way it should play out, where there are teams like getting creative, really trying to pry Jacob deGrom away from the Mets, or really trying to pry Verlander away from the Astros. I hope there's some creative GMs out there and ownership that allows the flexibility, and I hope some wacky shit happens, man. I hope the Orioles make a splash in free agency and say, fuck, like, let's just go. Like, we kind of got a thing going here. Let's go set an example. The Dodgers have work to do. I think that's one thing we're going to talk about, going, into the offseason. Like, they're more I know they have the guys. They still have a core there, but they're more unstable than they've been in a long time.
Give me Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah.
No other team wants him.
Is he coming back?
I don't know. When he left because of kind of COVID and some shitty reasons. And he said he left it open. He's like, I got unfinished business. I still want to win a World Series. So he might. He's only 35 years old. He's 33 years old.
Hot.
I saw a monkeypox sign in a bathroom in New York City, so I don't think he's coming back to New York City.
What the fuck?
Shit.
I don't think the Yankees are going to do it anyway. Bunch of punks. They got Montas, so they're set. Anyone else you want to talk about? Syndergaard, Greinke, Gibby, Clevenger, Kluber?
Who are the Blue Jays going to go get? You think they'll be really aggressive out there?
They'll get Syndergaard and Paxton. Or Taijuan Walker. Feels like they'd go grab him. Tyone. He shut him down every game. Maybe he didn't. I think it felt like he was shutting him down a lot.
No, he did well against the Jays. That was like his
Good
team.
for Zach. Go get paid, big guy.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of names. I mean, those are going to start coming off the board like in a waterfall. Once that tier starts going, I think that tier is going to go. The big names might take a while, but once that middle ground there starts moving, it might just be tumbling.
Some of these pitchers are like I was talking about with the catcher situation, where once you establish yourself as a guy that can get outs in the big leagues and throw innings and be effective, teams are just going to sign you. Like you need, teams understand they need surplus starting pitching. And if you're a guy that can just answer the bell, you're going to continue to get jobs and continue to get jobs and continue to get jobs. You might not get that high end money anymore, but teams are going to be like, you know what? For $8 million or $10 million, I can dream upon this guy hit 130 innings. It's one of those type of things. So congrats to all these guys because they're all going to make good money.
Look at you just described Michael Wacha's last year. Buck 27 innings, a 3.32 ERA. I mean, that whole second tier of pitchers that you talk about, teams will be happy to throw $8 million at them and hope they click.
Yeah, like Andrew Heaney, the Dodgers right here, $8 million. Tyler Anderson, $8 million. Come on.
Relief pitchers, we can do this for a little bit. Edwin Diaz came off the board already. The Mets signed him to 5 years,
102.
That's wild. I didn't think relievers were going to get that much money anymore. I thought that whole market was shifting. Good for him. What does that mean for the rest of these relievers? Jansen, Montero, Robert Suarez, Nick Martinez.
I mean, the part with Edwin is like a lot of these free agents, when the numbers start to multiply, is when you're young. He's 28. He turns 29 next year. Like we're talking about Kenley. Kenley's 35 now. So he'll get 1 year somewhere, and it'll be north of 10 mil. And whoever is looking for outs on the back end, he led the NL with saves this year. You get kind of a full experience from Kenley sometimes, but at the end of the day, the numbers end up there. Montero, kind of the breakout, one of the breakout guys this year. Him and Suarez, a couple playoff superstars this year that, I feel like that this is the area we've talked about how teams want to juice up the AAVs. I think we might see that with relievers. Like if Rafael Montero, he's 32. He broke out. He kind of got into the whatever Houston's got going on down there, and it works. Do you want to give him a 4-year deal? I don't think so. Would I give him 2 years and juice it up and hopefully you get what you got last year? Yeah. So, I mean, for him, Suarez, Nick Martinez, it really is. It's a veteran crop, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a ton of names. Do you think anyone's getting 4 years here? I mean, I know you just said.
This is a situation where a team is going to say, okay, here's what we need, and we're missing this type of break from our reliever. They're just looking at things that could fit their roster perfectly, and then you kind of are going to try to manipulate these guys into that. Like if you need a guy that gets lefties out, or you need a sweeping breaking ball because you already have enough 12-6 breaking balls, or you need a different arm angle to look at, and you start to go through these guys and whatever fits, what we need. There's not going to be a lot of long-term deals. It's a pretty shallow pool. And honestly, like getting relievers in free agency has never been like kind of the way to do it. It's you find some young guys in trades, or you go like a low AAV and just throw a bunch of darts at the board and see what happens. Kind of that's what it seems like to me has worked for teams in the recent years. Not a lot of long-term deals for relievers has kind of like been the way to do it.
Yeah. It is interesting, the names down there.
Oh, I mean, you start getting into the depths of it. The Taylor Rogers, Kimbrel, Chafin, Robertson. I mean, we've all seen those guys get a lot of big outs.
Chapman.
Chappie.
D-Rob, Canely, Green. A lot of Yankee fun relievers from the years past.
What if Chapman went to the Astros? Now that's a storyline right there.
That's fun. Yeah, the guys that you could see maybe 3 years from at the lower AAV. I think Suarez and Nick Martinez, they both have had unique kind of baseball stories to get to this point. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's with every team having kids in their farm that throw 98 plus. When the option is give a guy $10 million a year or try out 3 of these guys and maybe one of them clicks, most teams are going that way.
But there was a couple years ago where teams all of a sudden decided that middle relievers were valuable and they were going to give them high AAVs. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Yankees.
When like Anthony Swarzak got a little piece of bread
Swizzle.
And like
Yankees
little sticks got broke off. So like out of this crop, kind of what I was talking about before, like if someone's like, man, there's the diamond in the rough, I think we might see a few of those deals. You're like, what? They just gave who $8 million? Like kind of like a Heaney situation where the Dodgers were like, we think we see something that we can improve on, and we're just going to go take this guy off the market at a very reasonable AAV that might seem unreasonable to other people. To us, that's very reasonable, and they did it. I think there's going to be a couple of those in this category. Maybe an Adam Ottavino. I feel like teams always look at him like, this guy can miss bats with the best of them. Let's just go sign him.
That's when Talkin Baseball gets a team or Jomboy Media gets a team, you hire someone from the Rays or Dodgers to run all your bullpen hires, and you go knock yourself out.
Yeah, there you go.
Problem solved.
Go find that spin you like.
Enjoy. That's it. That's all of them. We'll do another episode in the future where we kind of like narrow down what teams are looking for what. Obviously, we'll react to when things happen. We have to do a little prediction show, or maybe we draft it. Something fun. This was kind of just a glossary.
Welcome to
let everyone know.
To the
landscape.
Is that a Navy hat or a black hat?
Yes.
Jake Shock.